What is your best trust story in small business? So I'm Dr. David Maslach. I created reciprocity.com, the editing platform where you can go and get reciprocity based editing if you are so inclined. So I'm actually a research professor at a large state institution in Florida. And you can check me out on the interweb if you want. So I was having this conversation with one of my graduate students this week in how important trust is to small business. So what is trust? Trust is showing vulnerability to somebody else. And with a small business, you have to do that a lot, right? So whether you are creating something that's online like this, or you are creating a blog, for instance, you're going door to door and you're trying to build a number of clients to go to your particular small business. um, you have to show, or there's kind of two moments of trust that happens. The first moment is in that initial purchase. People have to trust that you're not just going to take their money and just run away, not provide any particular service. And this is more important when you have a service rather than a product. And the other thing the other moment is building these long lasting relationships that you are, and everybody knows that that's the most important thing with a business is the long lasting relationships, is that you're going to constantly provide and look out for that other person, that you are going to be amazing in every possible way, that you are not going to take their money and not deliver repeatedly. And that's how small businesses typically form, and that's why it's really incredibly important. In fact, there's a large literature on this in psychology and economics, and as well as organizational theory. In psychology, I had an itch. In psychology, a lot of the researchers look at how trust is formed. In economics, they do these games. They're called trust games. They're really kind of fun. And that is where it's a two-player game where initial person is given a large sum of money, and they have to give that to somebody else. And in return, that somebody else has the decision that they might not return the money. So that money, when it goes to somebody else, it actually could double or triple. So that initial person, they have the choice to give the money to somebody else. So that initial person, when they give that money, they're trusting that they're going to get some money back in return when they interact with that other player. This just creates really fun relationships, and is a nice way to study the formation of trust. And within organizational theory, for instance, this is how we believe that organizations actually form, is the reason why we have organizations, because in arm's length transactions, so this is where you go to the store and you give some money to somebody else and they expect to get something in return. Well, in those moments where it breaks down, it's really difficult to actually have these arm's length transactions. Then we have organizations that form. And the reason why is because trust is easier to form in these organizations because you have a lot of repeated relationships. You see the same person every day. There's no uncertainty about whether somebody's going to just take off with that particular amount of money that you gave them, because you have this long-lasting trusted relationship with those particular individuals within the organization. And organizations, I mean, just it's not necessarily in terms of a startup organization, but it could be your family. And this is the reason, actually, in this literature, why we see family businesses form, because there's a much more trusted relationship that happens because you have been around those individuals for a long, long time. So you know that you can trust them. So with that, I actually wanted to reach out to you because this was kind of a heated discussion that I was having with one of my graduate students about the importance of trust in small business. So I was just curious on how important trust was with your small business or with your startup that you have. In the sense that did you have to show any particular vulnerability that you have? Um, did you have to show, or did somebody else have to trust in you when you created something? And this is really interesting because small business, you don't have these long lasting relationships often, or a new venture, you don't have these long lasting relationships. So I'm just curious to see what your coping mechanisms were in those moments. So if you could just write some comments and stuff like that, I'd be just curious to find out what you think. I think it's an interesting topic. So with that, hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you think this is really cool, go check out reciprocity.com, the editing software that I'm building, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you all. You are so amazing for subscribing to the YouTube channel, because this helps build this helps sort of builds momentum. And I know that every time that you click the follow button on, or the subscribe button, that you are actually trusting in this channel, that I'm going to keep providing something that's interesting. So thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye.